Should you upgrade from the iPhone 15 Pro to the 16 Pro or Pro Max? Well, today I'm gonna tell you everything that has changed, both the good and the bad, as well as what's disappointing, and I think you're gonna be quite surprised with my conclusion. With this iPhone launch, Apple really focused on the new displays, new camera updates, including the brand new camera control, and various small but really nice to have updates. But before I get into all of that, I've gotta say that I absolutely love the new desert titanium finish, with it looking so beautiful, and it looks so much better than all those dark bronze leaks that we had. And all of the new finishes have a new micro blasted texture. But now getting into the features that actually matter the most when thinking about upgrading, the first thing we gotta talk about is the display differences. The new 16 Pro model now has a larger display, specifically 6.3 inches versus 6.1 on the current 15 Pro, and as for the Pro Max model, the current one has a 6.7 and the brand new 16 Pro Max is going up to a 6.9, so both models got 0.2 inches bigger. But one thing I was really excited for is thinner bezels, and yes, both the new 16 Pro and Pro Max models have them. The bezels are going down to 1.15 millimeters on the 16 Pro Max, which is actually the thinnest bezels on any smartphone ever. We also have some new display technology. Now, the display does go down to 1 nit minimum brightness, which means the always-on display doesn't get as dark, which is actually gonna help save you battery life. But unfortunately, we have the same maximum of 2000 nit brightness. We had a leak that we would go up to 1200 nits of standard brightness compared to 1000, but no, we have no changes for standard brightness. And now let's get into the new performance changes with the brand new A18 Pro chip coming to the iPhone 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max. We have a 16-core neural engine, which is actually the same one as you get in the A18 chip. You're basically getting about 15% faster Apple Intelligence performance. We have a 6-core GPU, which is 20% faster than the A17 Pro chip, which is actually really cool. As far as the CPU, we have a 6-core, but it's 15% faster. Thankfully, the A18 Pro chip does have a new video encoder, which is 2 times faster. But what I think is the biggest deal out of all these performance updates is the brand new internal chassis with a graphite-clad aluminum substructure. It has 20% better sustained performance, which is a huge deal for gaming. And now to sum up all the performance upgrades, the brand new A18 Pro chip isn't super exciting compared to the A17 Pro in last year's models, but if you're upgrading from an older iPhone model, all of these chip upgrades will be a massive deal. And now jumping over to the new camera features, this is where it starts to get very exciting and where it starts to really make sense to upgrade. But first, today's sponsor, Casetify, just sent us this fun little strap-down gift box for the launch of their new upgraded Ultra Bounce case, now featuring expanded Ultra Bounce corners, which not only protect it from 32.8 feet high drops, thanks to its 6-layer 10x military-grade standard test lock design, but these new corners are actually part of Casetify's new Ultra Bounce attachment system, including the brand new utility lanyard and the carabiner, which support a bunch of different ways to wear your Ultra Bounce case protected iPhone, like hanging it off of your belt loop. And they've also got their full Casetify lineup with updated styles, including the nice and slim Impact case, the Impact Ring stand case, the updated Bounce case, which is now 5% thinner and 11% lighter, as well as some accessories like their AirPods case, their Bounce Odyssey Apple Watch band, and a couple of must-haves like their power through 2-in-1 charging station and 240-watt USB-C charging cable. So definitely use the link in the description below to go to www.casetify.com/maxtechyt and get 15% off your order today. First off, the new iPhone 16 Pro models have a new 48 megapixel Fusion camera, which has a 2nd-gen quad megapixel sensor, which actually reads data 2 times faster, which is a big deal, which means you're gonna have less shutter lag shooting in those very high-end formats, like let's say 48 megapixel HEIF or Pro RAW. But the biggest thing that I'm very excited for is the brand new 48 megapixel ultra wide, which is a huge deal because we've had 12 megapixels on the iPhones for a long time, and it's just not good enough, especially for low light. So now finally 48 megapixels is gonna be a massive deal. And finally, my favorite camera of all, the 5X Tetra Prism, is coming to the regular 16 Pro. And of course, we have the new camera control button. This was leaked as the capture button, so I think camera control sounds a lot nicer, but it's really cool because it has a flush design. It's not a real button. It kind of has like pressure sensitivity built in with motion detection as well. So you can kind of lightly press to, let's say, lock exposure and focus, which that's gonna be coming in an update later this year. But they have this really cool UI element that kind of bumps out of the top of the display and lets you quickly and easily change and customize your camera settings. I think it's gonna be a huge deal for people that can get some practice with it. And for people who love video recording features like myself, the new iPhone 16 Pro models have 4K 120 FPS recording, which is a huge deal. It might be enough to get some people to upgrade. And I love the new software that Apple's matching up with the 4K 120, which lets you adjust the playback speed on the fly. And now with those major selling points out of the way, let's get into the extra little tidbits in various upgrades that make it a really nice upgrade to have. First of all, you have 4 studio quality microphones, which is gonna help for everything from call quality and even allowing you to record yourself for, let's say, music or whatever else, seeing as the microphones are gonna be studio quality this time. On top of that, we have Wi-Fi 7 finally on all of the new iPhone 16 models. This is gonna be a really big deal because Wi-Fi 7 actually allows you to combine the different bands into one, and it seamlessly switches between them as you move away from your router. But keep in mind, you're gonna have to get a Wi-Fi 7 router to get this to work. But here's what's kind of disappointing with the new iPhone 16 Pro models, which I kind of was expecting something better. First of all, you have the same exact Bluetooth 5.3 as you had before, so no Bluetooth 5.4. That's a little bit disappointing. You have the same second gen ultra wideband chip, no upgrades there, the same IP68 water resistance as before, and unfortunately the same 10 gigabit per second USB-C speed on that port. I was hoping for a little bit faster, but it looks like a lot of these small specs are not getting upgraded. But something I didn't expect to be so good is the brand new wireless charging updates. Specifically, the current wireless charging is 15 watts for MagSafe, but the new iPhone 16 Pro models are supporting 25 watts. So from 0 to 50% in 30 minutes, which is super impressive for wireless charging, but you will have to get a new MagSafe charger to achieve the speed. And now in terms of battery life, we are getting a big upgrade this year. We're getting 27 hours of video playback on the new 16 Pro compared to 22 on the current 15 Pro, and 33 hours of video playback on the 16 Pro Max compared to 29 on the 15 Pro Max. That is a huge deal. And now finishing off with the case situation, Apple's fine woven case has been discontinued, which good, it was crap anyway. But Apple is updating the rubber and plastic cases, and they're adding a real piece of sapphire crystal glass right into the section where the camera control button is to help retain the functionality while kind of building in protection, which is pretty cool that Apple did that. Now, with all of that said, let me finally answer the question of, should you upgrade to the iPhone 16 Pro Max? Well, to be completely honest, if you already have an iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max model, you're honestly not missing out on that much because you have the same display technology with up to 2000 nits of brightness. You already have the action button. You already have the nice titanium. You already have the USB-C port. The camera updates are definitely going to be a worthy update, especially if you like to use the ultra-wide camera. The 5x tetraprism coming to the regular 16 Pro is a big deal as well, so that allows a lot of you guys to get the smaller model. But if you already have the 15 Pro and Pro Max, it's not that big of a deal. Now, if you have an older model, then I would say 100% definitely upgrade. You're gonna love all of the new features, especially USB-C. With all the camera updates, it's gonna be so much better than what you have right now, especially if you have an even older model. Apple definitely killed it with these new iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max models. So with that said, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, let me know your thoughts down below and subscribe for a lot more videos covering everything that Apple just announced. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.